MECs who are here representing other premiers from other provinces, executive mayors, chairperson of Rand Water Board, Ramateu Manyokolo, members of the Rand Water Board, residents of Mfuleni community and religious groups and various other community groups that are here present, and all guests and ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that I know is that I should never compete with people who are truly excellent at what they do. Like the minister, I can never whistle in the way that she does. She comes from a village somewhere in the Eastern Cape, and she used to do the whistling for cattle, and I could never compete with her. Let me start off by offering my congratulations to the Rand Water Board, the management team, the CEO, the board, and all other workers who work here in this space. I want to congratulate you on the completion of phase 2. Now, this phase, System 5, that you showed me, is one of Rand Water Board's flagship, if not the main one, bulk water projects. You are to be congratulated because it is the very best on the African continent. There's no other that is like yours. And as a company, you are rated amongst the top ones in the whole world. And you can applaud yourself for that. It is truly pleasing to know that we've got such excellent capacity in our country, and today you demonstrated it. We also have the joy, and I hope he's still here, of the CEO of Sasol, Mr. Baloyi. He's still here. We congratulate him as well because Sasol is the largest chemical plant in one place in the whole world. And we also congratulate Sasol. Now, to be at a place where you are pumping 600 million liters per day of water is to be in an absolutely outstanding place. As I stand here, I can feel water running through my body, through this whole precinct. It's truly outstanding that here we could have so much water that you are processing, water that you are channeling through to 4 provinces in our country. You are to be congratulated once again, and thank you very much for reaching this level of execution, of proficiency, of excellence. I congratulate you once again. Now, clearly, through this plant, you are going to be able to meet the rising demands of water in our country, much as you are addressing that demand in the precinct of Gauteng, part of Northwest, part of Mpumalanga, and part of the Free State. We are celebrating the completion of a vital piece of infrastructure, but we are also celebrating it in Women's Month. Women's Month. And let me tell you, I was particularly pleased that wherever I went, in every segment of this operation, it was being related, it was being led, it was being managed, it was being executed by women. And it is truly outstanding that the women of our country, young black women of our country, have taken the lead when it comes to water provision. And as Minister said herself, she said, women are the ones who have borne the brunt of water shortage, lack of access to water in our country more than any other. And to do this today, and to have the presentations being done largely by women, except for, of course, by the CEO, and he's a minority, he knows that himself. It was quite pleasing to hear the expertise, to hear the knowledge, to hear the intricate presentation. And as you know, I ask a lot of questions. And I ask a lot of scientific and engineering questions. And I'm proud that the women were able to answer them. So we are also, by installing and launching this infrastructure, really affirming our shared commitment to the people of our country to continuously make efforts to provide clean, reliable, and safe water. And in this regard, we have to applaud the minister, the two deputy ministers who are leading this process from the front, and also the department, and also working together with our various structures of government. The province and the Premier of Gauteng is here, and Leona is wearing an overall and some funny pants today, masquerading as a worker, and we also applaud him for the lead. In the end, the work that is being done is showing that water is not just a basic human right need. It is the lifeblood of any thriving society. Water sustains life, it supports industry, it empowers agriculture, it fuels innovation, but at the same time, it also supports the livelihoods of our people. Our people expect clean water when they turn on the tap. Just as they turn on the tap, they expect that clean water will come out. They deserve water that is free from contaminants and water that meets the highest global standards. And today here, I was able to see how clean water is created, is manufactured, and it is processed. Thank you very much for showing me the involved process of making sure that the water that we drink is truly clean water, it's top-grade water, even better than the water that you get from bottles in Pick and Pay or wherever. In the end, clean water is not just a luxury, it is a right. Poor water quality leads to public health crises, economic hardship, and a breakdown of confidence in our institutions. We are therefore determined as a government to make sure that in the end we deliver water of a high quality, and it's been pleasing to see that rainwater does precisely that. Because here I was able to meet engineers, highly qualified young women, highly knowledgeable young people who have taken on the task of providing clean water to our people. So thank you so much for all the effort that you put in. And I was also able to meet the contractors who come and do the work here, be they small contractors or the big contractors, you are doing a fantastic job. And we applaud you, because this is where we see that our efforts are really taking effect. Rainwater is 100% owned by the government, and I'm pleased the CEO was able to outline this. Rainwater being 100% owned by the government has not, in many years, almost 100 years, come to the government for a bailout. It has not come for money. And instead, it runs its operations profitably, and it runs its operations extremely efficiently. And we really want to congratulate you for that. Now, besides the additional 600 million liters of water per day that will be added to Rainwater's capacity through this System 5 project, you will be making through this a meaningful contribution to the economic growth of our economy. And with the work that you've been doing since 2019, you've achieved so much. And what was also pleasing was to hear that here at Rainwater you plan like 20 years, 30 years ahead. You are quite visionary, and we thank you for being visionary people. You are already preparing for 2050, and I can see it in your eyes, I can hear it in what you are saying, that you are forward-looking. You are not only focused on what is happening today, and you are also looking at the growth of our economy, the growth of our population. So we applaud you for being the wonderful and excellent executors of our Vision 2030 and even 2050 going beyond. So thank you so much, Rainwater, and we're particularly pleased as well that you have, in putting together this project, created 871 jobs, and in communities that surround this piece of land that you occupy, and that more than 2,000 community members have been trained in the construction trades. So you have empowered the community in which this water facility resides. And you've also helped to create skills in various trades, in bricklaying, steel fixing, welding, electrical, and many other related skills. So you are not just a uni-focused entity, you are multi-focused, and you've succeeded in including the community of this area in what you do. And that is why, as the CEO said, you did not even have a stoppage through either construction mafia or any other interference. And that shows a particular good skill to be able to manage community relations and to be able to manage the participation of medium entities or companies. And today's milestone really contributes significantly towards our country's growth and resilience and social upliftment efforts. Now, this system that is being launched today, System 5, is one of the largest purification projects of its kind. Its completion signals our country's capacity to deliver complex, high-impact projects that respond to the growing demands of a growing population. Now, this is a mega project. This is not a Mickey Mouse project. This is huge. Has cost more than 5 billion rand, and it's been well managed, and it's been carefully planned, and we applaud you for that. I'm very proud that one was able to see the near completion of this project without much ado, and with the management of the company at all levels having done a fantastic job. You are all jolly good fellows. Wonderful. Now, this project supports our government's key priorities to drive inclusive growth and job creation, to reduce poverty, and to tackle the high cost of living, and also to demonstrate that we can create a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Those are the three key priorities that we have committed ourselves to. We all have a responsibility to advance these priorities, and we must maintain and protect what we build. And I'm glad that here I've been able to see that there is real capacity in your hands, in your minds, about embarking on large-scale and complex projects and be able to execute them. Now, for me, the most pleasing part is that nearly everyone that I met here who has managed and executed this project is a product of our democracy. And I met a number of Tintswalos, the Tintswalos that I spoke about. And who are they? They are the engineers, they are the managers, they are the executives, who by and large also received NSFAS assistance. Even the CEO, who qualified much earlier, also received the TEFSA bursary assistance. Now, that is truly pleasing, including the security manager who I met, who, as I was walking around, he made sure that he comes to walk next to me and told me that I'm in charge of security here. So, colleagues, for me, this has been a really fantastic day. I have seen in many ways what the future of our country looks like. That we are indeed a people, and I saw the people here, who can manage complex projects, who can manage projects that have an impact on the lives of our people, who can plan ahead, many, many years ahead, and who can do it cost effectively. I have seen people today amongst you who have the discipline to look after the facility such as this one. And as I walked around, I was looking for mistakes. I often go around, look for where there are huge mistakes, and I walk around with a critical eye. I did not see anything that is a mistake here. So that is very good. So I applaud you. I do wish in my heart of hearts that all other public facilities could be as well handled as what you are doing here at Rand Water. I do wish that many others can come and learn from you how you manage this facility, how you maintain this facility, and how you are able to take care of this facility that fulfills such an important social need for our people, but also how you manage it financially as to be able to make Rand Water an attractive public-owned enterprise that is able to go to the markets and raise funding and have bonds that are listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, bonds that are bought even by international investors, and a Rand Water that is even rated higher and better than the government itself. That is very pleasing to me. Yeah, you can applaud. You don't have as much responsibility as the government, though. But we applaud you that your rating is much higher than the sovereign, as it should be, because you ought to be adding to improving the sovereign. You ought to be working at such a top-level capacity as to be able to lift the sovereign and to lift the country to a higher level. So Rand Water has been able to do that. And may I also add another important entity that is here, Sasol as well, because of its standing in the chemical industry in our country, also operates at that level. And may I also add, a number of the companies that have also participated here, my wish is that you should continue operating at a higher level, at a level where you have good execution capacity, proficiency, where you are efficient, and where you are also cost effective, and not try to rob and cheat a public-owned entity. Because by operating well, you are lifting all of us. And so I'm glad that I'm at a place here at Rand Water where you're operating at a top level and you are lifting all of us. So that to me is most pleasing. And so therefore, by what you do, you are setting a very good example. A good example which, as I said, I'd like other state-owned enterprises to follow in your footsteps, to have the type of top-performing workers, like the 30,000 that you have. Is it 30,000 or 3,000? 3,000, so the 3,000. Top-performing workers that you have, the 3,000, who are performing at the top of their game, who, even if I were to come here unannounced, I must not find them sleeping under a tree during the day. Sometimes I have found that with some workers who are employed by the state. So it's pleasing that here we've got the 3,000 workers who are committed, who are demonstrating that, yes, in managing and operating in a publicly owned entity, they can operate at that level and be a good example to what we should be doing as South Africans. As South Africans, we need to be lifting our game. We need to be lifting our capability and be able to show the world that when we are given something to do, to execute, to manage, we will do it at the best of our ability. I have seen that here today. And I congratulate you, CEO, together with the board, for the work that I have seen here today. And I say this, meaning it from the bottom of my heart, because this is exactly what should define us as South Africans: to be good at what we do, to be top-class performers when we are given a task, when we are given a project. It should be executed on budget, on time, with the right level of efficiency. As I was going around, I kept asking some of the workers whether the building is going to fall or the pipes are going to leak. And all of them kept saying, "President, this one will last for more than 100 years because they have done it extremely well." And that is the level of performance that we want to see. So in the end, I urge all premiers, there's one premier who's here, the others told me that they were given notice late, they couldn't come, the mayors and all other officials, to see this as a great inspiration and do much more than what we have seen here. Let us accelerate our focus on critical infrastructure projects across all sectors. It is projects like this that define the nation. You know, if you recall what we might have seen in various places, when big installations and facilities are built, they define what the nation is all about. If you go, for instance, yes, if you go to Europe, you see all those buildings in Rome. If you come to Africa, you see the pyramids. You come further south to southern Africa, you see the Zimbabwe ruins. That is what defines nations, and what we have built here today, managing a key water resource, is what defines us as a nation. So let us make sure that we manage this, we handle this with great dignity, and we ensure that it serves the needs of our people. So thank you very much. You are operating in a very sensitive area, and operating in a sensitive area of providing water to our people is an important contribution that you make to building South Africa Inc. So that a Gogo in Soweto, the farmer in Limpopo, the child in Mpumalanga, and all of South Africa must feel the positive impact of your work. They must have a sense that the water that they are drinking, the water that they are using for irrigation, wherever it may be, is water that has been well created, well processed by people such as yourself. So there is the pressure of success is not in me cutting ribbons, but it is the daily impact that is felt by South Africans in their homes, in their workplaces, and in their schools by the work that you do here. In designing this plant, Rand Water was guided not only by the immediate needs of our people, but by the challenges that lie ahead. Because already you know that the populations that you serve, right now you're delivering water to almost 19 million people. You already know that in another 10 years, that population will have grown. In another 20 years, it will have grown exponentially, and you are preparing for that. And that, for me, is being at the cutting edge of what you need to be doing as a company, and Nogal, a state-owned enterprise that we are proud of. Climate change continues to have a huge strain on our water resources. It disrupts our water rainfall patterns, and it also threatens our ecosystems. So System 5 that we are launching today signifies a purification model for the future. Infrastructure must not only meet today's needs, it must withstand tomorrow's uncertainties. We must innovate boldly and invest wisely. As we were going around, I kept asking the CEO and some of his managers, who are engineers of many sorts, civil, mechanical, and structural. I kept asking them, are you getting ready for the digital technology revolution that is underway? I even asked them, are you getting ready for artificial intelligence? That sitting somewhere, you will be able to see how clean the water is. You'll be able to press a button and change valves. And yes, they said, President, we are getting ready. And that to me is pleasing. Today, we are also taking another step forward in building a country of shared prosperity. And let the waters that flow through this facility be a testament to our commitment to provide not only clean and safe water, but water that will be accessible to our people. Now, to Rand Water, to the engineers, to the workers here, the planners and officials behind System 5, I want to thank you for your dedication and for your perseverance and your excellence. You are what I will classify as the builders of a better South Africa. Now, I do wish my office could create certificates for all of you, so that I each give you a certificate signed by me that says, you are the builders. You are the builders of a future South Africa. And it is a dream that I have, but I'm going to make sure, CEO, Chairman, that you give us the list of names of all the people who worked on this project. I want to sign certificates for each one of them so that you get certificates. The minister and I will sign those certificates because what you have delivered here is huge. It is a mammoth system. 600 million liters of water per day, adding to the other 600, coming to more than 1-point-something billion water liters a day, coming from here, created by your hands. You deserve certificates. You will get them. Thank you very much.
Water. It's something most of us take for granted. Turn the tap, and it's there. But in a country like South Africa, especially in a powerhouse province like Gauteng, securing a steady and safe water supply is no small feat, and today, a major step was taken to make sure that taps in the country's economic hub don't run dry anytime soon. In Vereeniging, at the Rand Water Zuikerbosch plant, the biggest state-of-the-art water purification facility in the entire African continent, history was made. The launch of Station 5A marks a significant leap forward in water security for millions of South Africans. This isn't just a small upgrade or routine maintenance, this is a strategic investment in the lifeblood of Gauteng's industries, homes, and future growth. Presiding over the event was none other than President Cyril Ramaphosa. And it wasn't just a ceremonial ribbon cutting. This moment ties directly to a promise he made earlier this year in his State of the Nation address. Back then, he made it clear, water crises in South Africa had to be tackled head-on. The growing population, expanding industries, and the increasing strain on infrastructure all meant that a long-term, reliable water supply wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. Today's launch proves that this commitment wasn't just talk. So, what exactly is Station 5A, and why is it such a big deal? Think of it as an advanced powerhouse for turning raw water into clean, safe drinking water at a scale that's hard to imagine. The Zuikerbosch plant already processes vast amounts of water every day, but Station 5A boosts its capacity even further, meeting the ever-growing demand in South Africa's industrial heartland. This is especially critical for Gauteng, home to Johannesburg, Pretoria, and some of the country's most important manufacturing, business, and transport hubs. If water runs short here, it's not just a local problem, it has ripple effects across the entire national economy. Building something like this isn't simple. It requires massive engineering expertise, huge investments, and forward-thinking planning. It's not just about quantity, it's also about quality. Water from the Vaal River has to undergo a complex series of treatments to remove impurities, kill harmful bacteria, and meet stringent safety standards before it can be piped into homes and factories. Station 5A is equipped with modern purification technology to make that process faster, more efficient, and more resilient to challenges like drought or pollution spikes. But this launch is more than just about infrastructure, it's about restoring trust. Communities in parts of Gauteng and across South Africa have faced water cuts, shortages, and even unsafe supply in recent years. These problems don't just inconvenience people, they affect livelihoods, health, and economic stability. By expanding capacity at a facility of this scale, the government is signaling that water security is a top priority. President Ramaphosa's presence today underscored that urgency. He reminded everyone that water is as critical to the economy as electricity. Without it, industries grind to a halt, agriculture suffers, and people's basic needs go unmet. Just as load shedding has been a wake-up call for energy, water shortages have forced leaders to act before the situation becomes a full-blown crisis. Of course, the launch of Station 5A doesn't mean South Africa's water challenges are over. The reality is that managing water resources will require ongoing investment, strict maintenance, and protection of the country's rivers and dams. Climate change, urban growth, and pollution are all threats that could undermine progress if they are not addressed. But with projects like this, the foundation is being laid for a more secure future. As the pumps hum to life and clean water flows into the network, the Zuikerbosch plant now stands as both a technological marvel and a symbol of commitment. For Gauteng's millions of residents, it's a sign that the taps are more likely to keep running, not just today, but for years to come. And in a world where water is becoming as precious as gold, that's news worth celebrating.